Politica all the way. Politica all the way. Politica all the way.
Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and those watching all over the world. Magandang buhay po sa inyo lahat. Ito po si Jojo and this is Politica all the way. As always, I always start off the program. Sinasabi ko sa inyo na exciting itong ating programa ngayon. Pero lagi talagang nagiging more exciting pag exciting talaga yung guest mo. No? Now, there's, I think, a litany of good things I could say about our guest. She's feisty, but with some charm in it. She's very intelligent. But the kind of intelligence na pwede mong ma-reach. I know if that would even make sense. No? She's a professor, a public servant, a reformist. More than anything else, siguro talagang a real patriot to heart, no? In every sense of the word. Please welcome Professor Cielo Magno on the program.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me. Actually, very excited ako. Kasi I know, as a fan since the 90s, 80s, diba?
Nakalimutan ko sabihin ng, dapat yata, mamaya.
Gagawin ko lang yan kapag sumali siya.
Di ba yung ang aking papakilala sa inyo ay isang ganon. Anyway, thank you for coming today. I know it's been your schedules is left and right na. Especially ngayon, ang dami nagsumusunod sa iyo at nagto-troll sa iyo at nagagalit sa iyo, nambabash sa iyo. Let's talk about social media muna. All of these vloggers, especially of the other side, after you. What's happening here, Prof?
Well, you know, after I left government, nung nag-resign ako as USEC of the Department of Finance, people really encouraged me na maging active sa social media. And nakita ko yung value nun eh. Why? Because sobrang lala ng disinformation sa Pilipinas. And naisip ko naman, hindi to masyadong dagdag na trabaho because I'm a professor.
Right.
Diba? So parang nilakihan mo lang yung classroom mo. From what I typically do sa UP to now, you know, buong social media. So I became very, very active. So minsan, ngayon, yung pinakamainit na discussion sa social media ko, kasi like for example, we just filed the plunder case against VP Sara Duterte sa Ombudsman. And then sasabihin nila, pro-BBM daw ako. So nakakatawa na. Because I've been very critical of the administration. And then I'm pro-BBM because
And you were part of the administration a few years back,
so I was a part of the administration. So that's basically the logic. As part of the administration, therefore, I'm pro-BBM. Pero before I was appointed, I'm anti-BBM. So parang hindi nila ma-reconcile yun. And then the next question is, bakit daw si Sara lang kinakasuhan ko? Sabi ko, bakit ako lang ba pwedeng mag-file ng kaso sa buong Pilipinas? Diba? Wouldn't it be more fun if file ng kaso?
That's right.
Mauubos ang mga corrupt na politiko. Ganun. Sabi ko nga, ang kailangan lang naman, pumunta sa ombudsman, magdala ng mga solid na ebidensya. At syempre, kailangan mong manumpa. Kaso pag nanunumpa ka, kailangan mo ng katawang tao. Diba? Kung troll ka, walang katawang tao eh. So, sorry na lang sa mga trolls. Immobilize niyo yung mga may katawang tao, pwede pumunta sa ombudsman. Diba?
That's correct.
So, napipikon. Ako naman, pinanganak yata akong, handang makipag-asaran eh.
Ganun ba? Yeah, there's much charm in your feistiness. No? Like people I know sometimes, ang dami rin mga ganyan, nakakatuwa, they get away with it. Isa sa mga ganyan, I also know she's very vocal about her liking for you, si Commissioner Guanzon.
Yeah, actually magkasama kami sa Huwag Kang Kukorap. Kasi naman malinaw yung advocacy sa paglaban sa korupsyon. So far, wala namang kaming nagiging conflict pa. Wala pa. We're together sa Huwag Kang Kukorap. So, we'll see.
Ito sila, let's talk about these vloggers muna now, no? Kasi very much in now ang strength, I don't know, strength or network of influence of these vloggers, no? Especially there's si Sasot and who's very much into talagang pounding on you.
Yeah, tsaka, well, pag
Wa-
tinignan mo din talaga naman, ako, wala akong problema na makipagdebate at mag-discuss ng issues. Pero, you know what's very common about these individuals? They really rely on ad hominem attacks, really personal attacks with no substance. So, mga ganyan, hindi mo na talaga papatulan. Pero kasi ako, tingin ko din, may isang issue na kailangan ipaliwanag. Ang nagiging issue kasi nila, bakit daw, paano ko daw masasabi na ang loyalty ko nasa bayan, si PBBM ang nag-appoint sa akin. And therefore, may loyalty ako kay Marcos. Ang lagi ko pinapaliwanag, and I think people should understand this, at sabihin naman natin na very idealistic, but these are the things na kailangan pinapaunawa natin sa mga kabataan natin. When you work in government, ang nagpapasweldo po sa atin,
Taong bayan.
Taong bayan.
That's correct.
Tax
Right.
yan ng mga Pilipino.
Oo.
At yan po ay binaon sa amin. Nung tayo ay nag-aaral pa sa UP, sino ba nagpa-aral sa atin sa UP? Yan ay yung mga taong bayan through their taxes. Kaya,
That's right.
for me, sabihin man natin na ang dami ko na nagawa, dami ko na na-achieve. I have a PhD, I got it from the US, but I got it for free. And all of those nakuha ko because of the privilege na nakuha ko makapag-aral sa UP. At yung pribilehiyo na yun ay utang na loob ko sa taong bayan. So kapag nagsisilbi ka sa gobyerno, ang pinagsisilbihan mo, yung interest ng taong bayan. And I think, kung sila ay hindi maintindihan yon, I think this is the moment na kailangan ma-remind ang lahat. And you know what's very interesting also, when I joined government, minsan jaded na tayo, government, corrupt.
Right.
Ikaw, you were part
That's
of
right.
government. Diba? That's not true.
Exactly.
Madaming very professional sa gobyerno na talagang nag-e-effort talagang ayusin. And sometimes talagang
They get
nagkakamali.
dissolution.
Diba? And also, they exert effort na ayusin ng gobyerno. But ang problema natin ay yung leaders na na-elect. And therefore, kapag ka nasa gobyerno ka, you really have to have that strength to say kung ano ba yung tama or mali. Kasi minsan, nakikita mo, mali na yung pamamalakad ng mga elected officials, ng mga politiko. Then you have to have that strength to say na mali yan, mali yung policy yan na gusto nyong isulong, di yan makakapakinabang sa taong bayan. May sound so idealistic, but I think this is the point where we really need to revive that idealism, diba?
That's true.
We need to inspire people. We need to inspire the kids.
Alam mo, tama yung perfect on point yung word na ginamit mo, Prof, yung timing and idealism.
Yeah.
Kasi hanggang ngayon, idealism na lang talaga. Yun na lang ang
Diba?
nangyayari. And but more than any time in our history, this is actually the time that we need it because it's
Yeah.
been ongoing for how many years,
Plus,
decades already. Wala na eh. Para bang
diba? At saka paano mong mapapalitan yung mga tao sa gobyerno? Paano ka magkakaroon ng mga alternative politicians? Kasi ngayon makikita mo, lahat produkto ng mga dynasty,
That's
diba?
right, that's right.
But how do you encourage people to really join government, participate in politics, participate in policy discussion? Kailangan mo uling mabuhay yung konsepto ng idealismo, lalong-lalo na sa mga kabataan.
That's right.
Maraming constraints kasi even with the issue of dynasty, diba? Makikita mo yung mga politiko natin halos magkakamag-anak na. And people, maybe isipin nila, ang hirap pumasok sa politika kasi kailangan mong basagin yung dinastiya na yan. At sila yung may hawak ng kapangyarihan at pera. Diba? But we need to inspire them and support them and make them believe na kaya pa talaga nating baguhin ng Pilipinas. Kasi kung walang idealismo, mag-give up na tayong lahat.
Right.
Diba?
Well, it was done in Pasig. Vico is one concrete
Yeah.
example
Correct.
of that.
Correct.
Diba? I mean, from nowhere, from God knows where, bigla na lang,
Biglang maayos na yung Pasig.
Maayos yung Pasig.
Ang
and
usapan,
then,
good governance.
good
diba?
governance. And he's very young at
Correct,
that, no? So
correct.
talagang tama si Jose Rizal. Ang kabataan dapat should be
Correct.
involved more than anyone
Yeah.
else. And more than any time in our country, in history. Now is really the time.
And ayaw natin silang ma-burn out, ayaw natin silang maging jaded. We
Right.
have to show them na kahit idealistic ka pa, kaya mong gawing immaterialize yung mga ideas na pinaglalaban mo. Na hindi ka palaging usapin lang to ng pera at ikabubuhay at kapit sa patalim. Na kaya mo talagang gawing realistic yung mga pinaglalaban mo.
Right.
And for me, that's very important. Ano naman yan usapin ng konsensya at saka pagkatao at yung mga batayang moralidad mo, diba? Kung kakainin ka ng
That's right.
sistema.
Nako, alam mo, listening to you now, Prof, Sa
Na-inspire
totoo
ka
lang,
na ba?
Na-inspire na ako. I wish I was 30 years younger. And
It's never too late.
had you been my professor in economics, baka nakikinig ako eh. Biro lang, mabait naman yung eco-professor ko, economics professor ko. Baka naging interesting sa akin. Puro kalokohan kasi ako nung araw. But okay, let's go now to numbers.
Yeah,
Okay, to the numbers game. I
yeah,
know you're very adept in that. You are the go-to person when it comes to economics in the Philippines. That's precisely the reason why you landed the job for the country, no? Itong nangyayari sa atin ngayon, especially with the budget,
Yes.
di ba? Importante yung budget natin. Now,
Oo.
on the whole,
Yeah.
what can you say about the 2025 budget and
The 2026
and now
budget.
incoming to the 2026 budget?
I think I was the first to say that the 2025 budget was the most corrupt budget.
Okay.
And then we highlighted bakit, 'di ba? Yung mga trillion budget na ina-assign sa DPWH, yung pag-zero ng budget ng PhilHealth at that time,
Yes.
pag-allocate sa mas maraming pondo for ayuda, and the reason why it's so corrupt is not just about the money and the volume of money na pinupunta sa pork barrel, but this whole design na yung mga programang sinusulong ng gobyerno are all designed to push for patronage politics.
Yes.
Diba? So
I
yun yung
agree.
nakakalungkot kasi supposedly, ang budget natin, yan yung blueprint kung saan ba gustong dalhin yung Pilipinas, ano ba yung development agenda natin, paano natin iaahon yung mga kababayan natin sa kahirapan. But if the programs na nakikita mo pinupondohan ng gobyerno ay mga pork barrel projects nila, yung mga programa na kailangan mo pang mamalimos sa mga politiko bago mo matap yung programa na to, alam mo na corrupt siya dahil pinapahikahos pa yung mga tao, pinapahirapan pa bago matulungan. But one thing is good dito sa 2026 budget process. Kinwalify not the
Process
budget,
pala.
but the process. And this is an example na kahit idealistic ka, pwedeng mangyari. I started the Open BICAM call, yung hashtag Open BICAM. A few days after that, sumagot yung mga congressman at senador, gagawin natin tong Open BICAM na to. And this is actually what we are seeing now. Diba ilang araw nang nagba-BICAM ang mga congressman at senador.
Good for
Before
you.
this, diba, you know, BICAM natatapos ng kalahating araw or isang araw.
Right.
You work in Congress, you know that. But now, ilang araw na silang nag-overtime, ilang araw na silang nagdedebate. And I think this is very good kasi nakikita ng mga Pilipino
For
yung
transparency,
dynamic.
no? And dynamics and
Diba?
transparency.
Yung dynamic. So, I mean, if we use our voice to influence policy, may mangyayari pa din. And this is what I'm saying, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-give up Kasi pag pumalpak yung gobyerno natin, mga tao din naman yung nagdudusa.
Yes.
So even if we don't like the people in government, we have to work hard para tawagan yung atensyon nila at mag-demand ng accountability. At ito nga yung concrete example. So ngayon may Open BICAM na tayo. Nakikita natin kung sino bang mga politiko yung patuloy na nag-i-insist na mga proyekto na hindi talaga useful at kapaki-pakinabang sa mga taong bayan. So, about that. Ito nga, ngayong pinag-uusapan ng budget ng DPWH, di ba? Pagdating sa Senado, yung mga civil society, marami tayo ngayon, yung mga youth natin, talagang nag-i-engage sa paghimay ng budget, which is very, very good.
Yes,
Kasi
good, right.
imagine we're talking of trillions of pesos So, kailangan mo talagang pag-effortan yan. Ang dami nagvo-volunteer to do that. Nakakatawa,
that's
di ba?
good. That's good.
But the Senate really worked hard with these advocates para himayin yung budget ng DPWH. So, natapyasan. Ngayong last minute na, nagbabikam, gustong ibalik.
Gustong ibalik?
Di ba? Ikaw tatanungin ko, may napakita na ba ang DPWH for the past months that warrant giving them additional 45 billion pesos?
But from the very beginning, akala ko si Secretary Vince Dizon was supposed to be just trimming it all down because sabi niya nga, these are overpriced, these are So, di ba dapat all the more you should say na, ito, tama na itong budget natin, ito, eksakto na ito dito or something.
And he worked with the Senate, nag-agree na siya dyan. So, bakit ngayong last minute, may mga padagdag na naman at gustong palakihin? So for me, this is a big problem kasi credibility issue to Zero credibility ngayon ng DPWH. That's one. Pangalawa, wala pa naman silang napapakitang konkretong aksyon kung paano na ba natin aayusin itong implementation ng mga projects sa DPWH. May mga ghost projects pa tayo. Pangatlo, yung pangako na may mapapakulong.
Oh, yes.
Ano na?
It was supposed to be last week pa, di ba?
Magpapasko na.
Oh, di ba? Before Christmas daw eh.
Oh, ilang days na lang before Christmas, di ba?
Oo nga, ano?
Wala pang napapakulong, naghihintay pa rin po kami.
That's right.
Di ba? So with that, I mean,
Hindi kaya you're very good with numbers, Prof. Hindi kaya yung budget na additional na yon, yung 50 billion or something, will be the ones to fund the ghost projects that have yet to be finished?
parang tama ka, pero feeling ko baka naman may mga nag-advance na.
Advance na, ganun.
Diba? I mean, you know, in the public hearing sa Senate, nabanggit nila yan na kapag ka na-insert pa lang sa NEP, pag nalagay na yung budget, yung item, na may mga congressman na naniningil na. Eh ngayon, with this budget trimming, may mga 10,000 projects daw na mawawalan ng pondo. Eh baka naman may mga nag-advance na doon. So kailangan ibalik. Well, we don't know. But I think what DPWH needs to do is to rebuild the credibility of the institution first.
I think that's foremost, That's foremost, no?
Medyo makapal yung
Para
mukha mo
Mount yun,
kapag
yeah.
wala ka pang napapatunayan, tapos naghingi ka na agad ng dagdag na budget. Diba? So that's the problem.
Politica all the way. Politica all the way. Politica all the way.
Siguro isang major issue pa with the budget now is itong, di ba, we just had a Supreme Court decision on PhilHealth. Pagpasensya nyo na po, makulit talaga ako. But, so nangulit tayo sa BICAM, nagpa-file tayo ng mga kaso sa Supreme Court. Not because I'm a BBM fan. In fact, itong mga kaso na to ay question sa mga policies ng gobyerno. But we want the government to work for us.
Right.
We want the policies na makakatulong sa atin. So we question, bakit ba kinukuha ni Secretary Recto yung 60 billion budget ng PhilHealth, diba? But aside from that, what we've seen over the years is habang paliit ng paliit, yung binibigay na budget na pondo sa PhilHealth, palaki ng palaki itong budget sa MAIFIP. Ano yung MAIFIP? Ito yung health assistance na binibigay ng mga politiko na kailangan pa ng guarantee letter. So imagine that, bago ka makapagpagamot sa ospital, magmamakaawa ka muna na bibigyan ka ng politiko ng donation.
So that's where patronage politics come in.
Exactly. But you know,
so you're beholden to them.
Ano pa yung mas malungkot na usapin dito? If you look at the data, nung isang 2022 survey data ng Philippine Statistics Office natin, kapag ka mahirap ka, ang average na natatanggap mo mula sa MAIFIP, mga around 10,000 pesos lang.
And that's a one-time thing?
Yes, one time. Di ba pagka binigyan ka ng endorsement, kapag mayaman ka, kapag nanghingi ka ng guarantee letter, kasi wala namang means testing, ibig sabihin, basta may connection ka sa politiko mo, kakakuha ka niyan. Pag mayaman ang profile mo, ang average na nakukuha mong tulong, 20 to 25,000.
Oh.
So what's wrong with that, di ba? Pag mahirap ka, 10,000. Pag mayaman ka, 25,000. Everything is wrong with MAIFIP. And ano na naman yung ginagawa ng Kongreso natin? From 24 billion na initial proposal, naging 27 billion. Dito sa BICAM, naging 51 billion na sinusulong ng House of Representatives. Medyo disappointing lang kasi we have senators who said na ayaw na natin yung MAIFIP kasi patronage politics nga yan. Dapat ilagay na sa PhilHealth ang lahat ng pondo.
That's right.
Pero lumusot pa rin sa BICAM
Really?
Diba?
Yeah.
Kasi outnumbered ng, parang outnumbered ng mga House of Representatives, yung mga senador na nag-a-agree na tanggalin na tong MAIFIP na to. But gusto ko rin kasing ipaliwanag, yung PhilHealth kasi is our national health insurance program. At yung idea behind PhilHealth is lahat ng Pilipino, covered na dapat yan. May trabaho ka man o wala.
Wala. That's right.
Sino ang dapat nagbabayad ng premium kapag wala kang trabaho? That's the national government. So may subsidy po yan sa national government. Ang estimate ngayon ng PhilHealth...
But you have to be paying, of course. You have to be a member.
So
of
kapag may
PhilHealth.
trabaho ka, you pay.
You pay.
The premium.
Okay.
If wala kang trabaho, it's the government who will pay your premium.
Okay.
Kasi naka-earmark yan. Automatically nakalagay sa batas a certain percentage of taxes collected from tobacco, soft drinks, automatically pumupunta yan sa PhilHealth. At yung mga pera na yon, yung gagamitin pambayad ng premium ng mga mahihirap na hindi makapagbayad ng premium. So kung hindi sila nakakabayad ng
They
premium,
covered, They
covered na sila,
Covered na
lahat
sila niyan.
tayo,
Right.
may PhilHealth pag nagpa-ospital.
Oh, okay.
But the government now keeps on reducing that counterpart.
Mhm.
Bakit? Kasi parang nga yung mga tao, manghihingi ka pa ng tulong sa politiko kaysa nagkakakuha ng maayos na tulong sa PhilHealth.
Yeah.
Ito yung mga gusto
Sad,
nating
right,
ayusin.
oo.
Bakit? Kasi kapag ganun yung sistema na may patronage politics, at the mercy ka talaga ng mga politiko. Patuloy mo silang binoboto kasi akala mo, tinutulungan ka nila. Nakakalimutan natin na yung lahat naman ng tinutulong ng politiko sa atin, galing naman sa atin yung
That's
tax
right.
natin,
Oo,
diba?
taxes natin.
Tax
Oo,
natin.
pera natin yan. Oo, tayo ang
Diba?
nagbibigay. Lagi niyang inilalaban niya. We are all taxpayers. We're the ones paying for everything that you have there. Di ba?
Exactly.
Oo,
Uminom
you
ka
are
lang
under
ng-
our employ.
Uminom ka lang ng kape, uminom ka lang ng soft drinks, nagbayad ka na ng
Oh.
tax.
Which ako nga, let's deviate a little bit, no? Prof, itong si Secretary Recto,
Oo.
ang dami niya mga pinopropose na parang to a lot of people I know
Yeah.
are redundant taxes that are absurd to at the least to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But bakit?
Alam
Saan
mo,
manggagaling yan? I mean,
kaya-
you're privy to what's happening to Malacanang prior, before you were there.
Alam
Ano ba yan?
Actually, alam mo, yan pa yung nakakalungkot. Kasi ngayon, tutok na tutok tayo dun sa budget. But part nung discussion din, at hindi masyadong natututukan, is the revenue side. Saan ba kinukuha yung mga
Right.
revenue ng Pilipinas? At kapag hindi nakaka-generate ng enough revenue, ibig sabihin, mangungutang na naman tayo na mangungutang, diba? So for the past years, palaki yung utang ng Pilipinas. Sino ba mababayad ng utang? Tayo din.
Oh.
Ang napansin ko lang kasi halimbawa, nung January of this year, merong ito example lang may isang tax na sobrang sinusulong yung gobyerno minamadali to na as urgent kasi gusto nilang tapusin bago mag-eleksyon. Explain mo sa akin kung masaya ka sa tax na to o hindi Currently, nag-lecture meron kasi tayong mga sin taxes.
Okay.
Ang tawag sa kanila sin taxes because you want to discourage yung pagkonsumo ng mga produkto na to. So,
alcohol, cigarettes.
Yan.
Okay.
So ngayon, nakita ng datos na pataas na naman ang incidence ng mga naninigarilyo.
Okay.
So kung ikaw ang Secretary of Finance, anong gagawin mo sa tax? Tumataas ang incidence ng mga naninigarilyo.
Tataksan mo ngayon ng cigarette companies.
Diba? Tapos ngayon, kung may tax na
tama ako
sila,
dito.
ay, may recitation.
Oh, may recitation. Kamunti ka ako mag-taxa kamay. Tama ba, mama? Okay, good.
Diba? Tapos kung pataas ng pataas, ibig sabihin nun, hindi enough yung tax na ini-impose mo. Kasi ganun yung idea, pinapamahal mo siya para hindi na siya bibili ng mga tao. Diba? Lalo-lalo na yung mga mahihirap. Kasi sila yung mas prone sa pagkakasakit. Sila yung walang healthcare. So kasalukuyan, ang policy natin, every year, may fixed amount ng tax kasi dyan Specific tax, ibig sabihin pera. Halimbawa, 5 piso, ganyan, 10 piso. Tapos yung policy natin ngayon, i-adjust yan ng 4% every year to catch up sa inflation. Diba? Ang proposal ng gobyerno with the statistics na tumataas ang number ng nagyoyosi, ay ibaba ang tax.
How
Video
ironic!
po yung reaction. Again.
Bakit? Baliktad.
Exactly. Diba? And for me, that's a classic example of corruption also in the revenue sector. You know why? Kasi ang mga tobacco lobbyists, very powerful.
They're owned by the big companies and supposed to be
They're
all those
strong
big businessmen.
lobbyists. Diba?
Yes.
So pag hindi na babantayan ang revenue side, ay magkakaroon ng korupsyon. Alam mo kung bakit hindi natuloy? Muntik na, nasa BICAM na yan. Imagine kung lumusot yan. Imbes na nakapag-raise na naman tayo ng revenue, bababa pa yung revenue. Proposal nila, kung 4% every year, gawin natin alternate. 2% pag odd years, 4% pag... You don't have to be an economist to see how ridiculous
I know. I mean, it's
yung proposal na yun.
Oh, yeah.
At the moment, na wala tayong pera, ang laki-laki ng inuutang natin at kailangan maghanap ng pera ng gobyerno. Alam mo kung paano napigilan yung batas na yan? Yung mga doktor natin, ang sipag mag-lobby. Ayan, example na naman ng idealismo, diba? Kasi yung mga doktor natin, dami na nilang pasyente, sila yung nakakakita ng biktima ng paninigarilyo.
So tapos wala pang PhilHealth.
Exactly. Di sila nababayaran.
Wala pang PhilHealth.
Sila yung humaharap sa pasyente.
That's right.
So sila yung nagmo-mobilize, nangunguna talaga yan sa mga senador natin, sa mga congressman natin, natutulan yung batas na to. So imagine that, our doctors hanggang ngayon nag-i-engage sa policy.
Yes.
So napigilan yan.
And it's nice naman kahit paano to get them all involved, no? I mean, the private sector, di ba, and the government, ganyan. Kasi gone are the days. My grandfather kasi prophecy, is a doctor. So yun yung gone are the days na, sige, ibabayad sa'yo,
mga
manok
gulay.
na lang, o gulay, hindi na pwede, no?
Politica all the way. Politica all the way. Politica all the way.
Have you sat down with the president? Kasi the likes of you, your personality is, did you ever have a chance to really sit him down and Mr. President, this is, kasi naman, I don't think that people in power, or maybe I'm assuming too much, but yung bang out of frustration, niisip ko na lang na sana makinig na lang na ito ang dapat gawin, and then have you ever had a chance to sit him down?
What I do now is I do my regular vlogs.
Okay.
You subscribe every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube. And I discuss these things para ma-share with everyone who's interested on this issue. So the president can watch my vlog. But
pero hindi mo pa siya na-sit down? Kasi I remember, ito merong, hindi
But
pa.
I really hope the president will get good advisors. Kasi very problematic to, and we have a very problematic situation. Kasi laging magkakabit ang political context and the economic situation.
That's right.
And the thing that is happening now, we have a government crisis. This government crisis will clearly lead to economic problems. Magkakaroon tayo ng problem with economic growth, confidence with our institutions, paano mag-i-invest ang mga investors sa isang bansa na perceived as one of the most corrupt.
Exactly.
Diba? These are basic things, but I really hope the government, especially the president, finds credible people to work with him on this issue kasi napakalaki ng challenge niya on the remaining years of his term. Kaya nga nalulungkot ako na halimbawa today, with the DPWH budget, binaback pa ng Malacanang na itaas ang budget ng DPWH given the fact na wala pa naman napapatunayan. I think you have to build the credibility of the institution so that magkakaroon ng tiwala ang taong bayan. Yun yung pinaka-importante doon. Kasi nga, ayaw naman natin nag-fail ang gobyerno. Dahil pag nag-fail yan, tayo din naman yung magdudusa. Diba?
Actually, very sad nga, Prof. Kasi tama yung sinasabi mo kanina na credibility is very, very important, especially now. You cannot give what you do not have. Pag wala kang and you're asking too much, para bang nalaman na nga na ang daming problema rito, nanghihingi ka pa. Just like any other office. Pag nagkaroon ka ng...
Diba? Parang yung anak mo, pagka mababa yung grades, naghihingi ng dagdag ng
Allowance.
allowance.
Wala ka pang, di ba?
Kailangan mo na makita mag-improve yung grades.
Exactly, di ba? Bakit
hingi ng hingi?
You know, I don't know if you've watched the movie Dave. Have you watched the movie Dave?
Yes.
I think that's what we need. Yun yung yung siyang inano niya, yung ang tawag dito, siyang nag-take over the presidency because parang siya, what do you call that? Yung cosplayer siya that's what they call it now, cosplayer siya. Nagkasakit yung presidente. Cut long story short, he brought in all of his friends out of government. Sabi niya, pinakita niya yung Prof, eto nangyayari sa problema natin, ganyan. Sabi niya, they're doing it all wrong.
Fresh eyes, diba?
Fresh eyes.
Kasi nga, minsan, mahirap pag nandun ka na limited, very narrow lang din yung nakikita mo. But I think dito, napaka-basic talaga ng kailangan gawin ng presidente. Kailangan mabalik yung confidence ng mga tao sa gobyerno. And the only way to do that is really, kailangan makita ng pinapakulong na corrupt. Kasi siya yung nag-open ng issue Diba? I mean, credibility in terms of punishment, kailangan may makulong. At hindi lang yung mga small fish. Kailangan big fish talaga. Kasi nakita naman sa mga conversation na mga senador at congressman. Ang challenge lang, it's so difficult to build cases against congressmen and senators kasi wala naman tayong access sa information, wala tayong access sa data, wala tayong access sa mga documents that we can use as evidence to file cases against them, 'di ba? Kaya siguro sa legacy ng Pangulo, may binanggit na siya ng mga bills na gusto niyang ipasa ng Kongreso. Pero may mga action din kasi na pwede siyang gawin at his level. Because he's the president,
That's
diba?
right.
So aside from certifying these bills na priority, pwede nga niya sabihin urgent. Di ba? Pag urgent,
Right.
lalabas yan agad, di ba? Malaki yung difference no nang dineclare na urgent ang isang bill, priority lang siya. But then, within the power of the president, ang dami na pwede niyang gawing available lahat ng data So that, habang ini-inspire natin yung ating youth, mga seniors na maging active, engaging government, may mga datos na pwedeng pag-aralan, may mga datos na pwedeng gamitin to monitor government projects and programs. Pero kasi kung wala tayong access sa data, we just rely on ano ba yung conversation ng government, ano yung gagawin ng ICI, 'di ba? Magpa-file ba sila ng kaso o hindi? That's not empowering the people. So, siguro napaka-importante na bahagi ng reforma na sinusulong is empowering the citizens. We inspire them, we empower them, we give them access to information. Kasi sometimes, even if we're so critical, yun nga yung kailangan nating maunawaan na ginagawa natin to para sa interes ng taong bayan, diba? Sa ating lahat, pag naayos ang PhilHealth, sino ba magkakaroon ng maayos na health insurance?
Right.
Tayo din, diba? Pag naayos ang education,
Oo nga, I think more than anything else,
diba?
education din talaga is very important kasi nakakalungkot, parang naglalag behind na tayo in some of the other countries now,
Yeah. Pero alam mo, kaya importante yung mga shows like this kasi at least na-discuss yung mga gantong issue pero dapat nagtitiktok ka Nag-recruit diba? Because yun nga, sa disinformation, sometimes people don't really watch TV anymore or nanonood sila sa YouTube. Pero may iba't ibang forma kasi ng disinformation and sometimes single issue lang sila. They support certain politicians and then they demonize people. Pero ako kasi tingin ko dyan, it's a market of information, diba? So kung maraming nag-spread ng disinformation, dapat ganun din karami.
Ganun din yung tamang good information, good information.
Para yung mga
to
kababayan
balance it
natin.
out, no?
Correct. Mga kababayan natin will have access to discussions like this.
That's right.
Kaya dapat may TikTok ka na sa 2026.
Yung TikTok kasi puro kung ano-ano yata ang pinagagawa ko.
Habang nagda-dance ka, nagdi-discuss ka ng issue.
Maganda yun yun ang tawag doon, DI. Dancing issue.
Diba?
Diba?
Ayan na.
DI na DI pa, pwede.
Dapat
Pwede
may
tayong
TikTok ka na
gumawa.
yan yung title.
Thank you for giving me an idea, Prof. Prof, let's talk about the ICI. You mentioned ICI kanina.
Yes.
What needs to be done with them? What needs for them to kasi especially now one of the ICI personalities are supposed to be was
Secretary
Singson resigned.
Diba?
Yeah. So are they losing credibility? What needs to be done for them to prosper and progress into what they should really be doing?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening now, no? Parang nangyari kasi dyan, parang instinct ng presidente, ay, sumabog yung issue ng korupsyon, ano gagawin ko? Gawa ako ng commission as a response to this. Pero marami nang nag-point out din na medyo mahina itong commission na to kasi wala naman silang power. They're just parang a body created by
investigating body or something.
Diba? But then, referral lang din naman. Hindi nila pwedeng patawag. For example, si Speaker Romualdez, diba? Former Speaker Romualdez, pinatawag nila, sabi ni Speaker Romualdez, busy ako. So, hindi naman siya nagpakita, diba? So, you can already see ano ba yung strength ng capacity talaga ng ICI to investigate the matter. That's one. Meron naman silang mga na-endorse na kaso, but at the end of the day, it's really the ombudsman who will build the case against these individuals. Ang isa pang challenge natin, naging secret kasi yung discussion sa ICI. So even if, for example, tayo mga mamamayan, maging supportive, makatulong sa investigation, makahanap ng additional evidence against these corrupt people, hindi tayo makaparticipate, hindi natin alam anong nangyayari because it was a secret meeting.
Yeah.
Diba? So, hindi natin masabi talaga kung anong nangyayari doon. Walang mechanism of accountability. Now, they decided to live stream it, pero napaka-limited pa rin ang nakikita natin at limited yung nangyayari. So now, we have to wait for the ombudsman kung ano ba yung magiging progress ng mga kasong ito. Tapos meron, syempre, sinusulong kasi nga, nakita yung weakness ng ICI, merong mga mambabatas na gumawa ng counterpart with stronger mandates and power para mas maging epektibo itong pag-i-investigate ng ICI body na to. Sinortify ng Pangulo as a priority bill, pero sana urgent,
Sana
diba?
urgent,
Kasi urgent yung issue.
Sana, right.
Wala pang ang napapakulong.
Right.
I think yun yung pinaka-hinihintay ng mga tao eh. Bakit? Kasi nagka-Napoles na tayo before.
Yes, right.
Same people, same
Same
character. Recidivist na nga sila. Right. Paulit-ulit na. Before, we're talking of millions nung sa Napoles. Now we're talking of billions. We don't want to see each other again.
Right.
Discussing naman trillions of pesos na nakukurakot. So aside from pagpapakulong, dito pumapasok yung mga concrete policy reforms na kailangan ginagawa ng Pangulo. Diba? But ito, may kwenta pa pala. Kasi gusto ko talagang maniwala yung mga tao na kaya pa ng pagbabago. And we can do it even if we're not politicians.
Yes.
Diba?
That's what we need.
So, I drafted the bill, ordinance draft ordinance na parang, okay, at the LGU level, pwede tayong mag-create ng special body na may civil society, sama natin mga contractors, local politicians, congressmen, mag-usap-usap tayo. Ano ba talaga yung infrastructure na kailangan natin sa local government level natin? Diba? Magkano ba talaga yan? Magkakaroon tayo ng social contract with the private sector, contractors. Magkano ba talaga ang cost sa pagpapagawa ng classroom, kalsada, etc.? Magkano talaga yung budget yan? Ito ba talaga yung kailangan natin sa local government natin? So, nag-draft na ako ng bill.
Okay.
Naging batas na yan, buong Laguna. Province of Laguna adopted it. And it's now an ordinance. In Eastern Samar din. Ano na yan?
They're adopting it all over.
Yes.
So you have, this is ongoing.
Yes,
this is
ongoing.
a fresh, it's a warm bill. It's a warm ordinance.
It's on my Facebook. Meron dong Google link. And then politicians can just download and own the bill.
Yeah.
Just file it. Alam mo, ito, may nag-message sa akin.
Okay.
Ordinary citizen siya sa Pangasinan. He printed.
And
Dinala niya sa council. Ngayon, dinidiscuss na ng konseho nila. Diba? So, if we really want to see change, parang wala tayong choice kung tayo mismo yung mag-initiate eh. Diba?
I wish most yung mga kababayan natin share the same passion. Kasi
Energizer Bunny.
That's what we need, Professor. Yun lang minsan kasi nakaka-disillusion di ba?
Yes.
I agree with you on that Kasi unang-una, again, on a practical note, no? You may be giving these people things that they do not need.
Yeah.
Especially if they're coming, etong katulad nung sinabi ng ibang mayor siya nakilala ko, sabi niya, hindi naman namin kailangan ng ano rito, ng bridge dito, biglang may bridge, There has to be consultations,
Exactly.
di ba?
At
the priority things that need to be delivered to the LGUs, di ba?
At saka yung nakakaalam niyan, yung taong bayan.
Yes,
Diba?
Parang sabi ko nga sa kundi, parang palang gasoline station yan, dapat pumasok ka, lalagyan mo agad ng tubig, ng gasolina, hindi pa lang, kailangan tubig lang.
Diba?
You may be giving them something that they do not need.
At saka, at the end of the day, kung gusto nating pababain yung tax na binabayaran natin,
That's right.
dapat magtipid-tipid yung gobyerno. Paano magtitipid yung gobyerno? Dapat ginagastusan lang niya yung kailangan natin.
That's right.
And the only way to do that is really to monitor government.
Pero Prof, this again on the
Pero hindi ko naman sila sinasabing mag-draft kayo lahat ng bill.
Maganda.
May kanya-kanya tayong specialization
Hindi, pero at least yung mga ano na lang, detailing na lang.
Yeah.
But the concept of
if you're an engineer, if you're a lawyer, if you're a teacher, you will find a way to influence your government.
At least meron may templated na.
Yeah.
Templated na lang to, detailing na lang. Ito tanggalin mo, itong kailangan, ganyan.
Dito sa bill na din.
Copy-paste
na lang.
Copy-paste na lang. Lahat ng nanonood, ang dami yung nanonood naman sa atin.
Yeah.
Parang
Open
awa nyo na.
infra bill.
Yes,
diba?
get that. What do you call that, Prof?
Open infrastructure bill. Yes.
Open infra.
Actually, may mga congressman and senator na din tayo na nag-file ng counterpart niyan at the national level. Pero kasi po, kung halimbawa, jaded na tayo, wala tayong magawa sa national level natin, frustrated na tayo. Si mayor, si governor, kapitbahay lang natin yan eh. Mga konsihal na pinuntahan kayo ng eleksyon na kinakampanya ka, iboto nyo ako. O ngayong Pasko, bigyan nyo sila ng bill na to. Pakipasa, konsehal, konsi. Pakipasa naman to. Di ba ganun? That's the idea.
That's right.
That's the idea.
Minsan nakaka-frustrate lang talaga.
Diba?
Kasi kami, Prof, kasi our business also, I mean, apart from the show business, I do also, binibiro nga ako na because we're into real estate and construction. We do contracting also, So, minsan, na-encounter, ako on a personal note, na-encounter ko yan the transactions should have been very light. The development should have been delivered easier, more effectively, and yet, because of the government, bureaucracy, red tape,
mahirap,
tapos
diba?
humihirap, tapos nako-compromise.
Diba? I mean,
Prof, nako-compromise yung proyekto.
napaka-importante ng role ng private sector.
Yes,
Sa government natin. Hindi naman pwedeng government lang yung lumilikha ng lahat ng trabaho. Private sectors help create jobs. But you also have to, may system of accountability. It has to be mutually beneficial for both government and the private sector. Magpasensya nyo na makulit lang din talaga ako. Like for example, si Secretary John Vic, kinukulit ko naman siya ngayon. Kasi naisip ko lang, for example, sa kakakausap ko rin sa mga tao, they invest mga malalaking pera at the local level. 1 million, 50 million. Minsan you invest your savings para din magkaroon ka ng hanap buhay. Pero kasi sa local level, halimbawa, magre-renew ka ng business permit, di ba? Every year.
Business permit, amilyar, kung ano-ano pang mga hindi ko maintindihan,
Gusto kong i-suggest, sabi ko sa kanya, kay Sec. John Vic, pwede ko na ba i-draft ko na, wala na ko na sa'yo.
Pwede ba, Prof? Kahit ako na mag-secretary siya, ano ba ang kailangan natin gawin dyan? Sige, Prof. Di ba?
Parang gusto ko sana i-suggest, yung mga business permit would be longer for investments that are bigger. Para may stability din.
I think that's very practical.
Diba?
Tama
para may
yan.
stability. Kung nag-invest ka ng 50 million sa isang bayan, baka naman pwedeng mas mahaba-haba yung business permit mo at ika-cancel na lang yan kung magkakaroon ka ng violation. Hindi yung every year at the mercy ka ng local government kung bibigyan ka ng business permit o hindi. So, paano nagkakaroon ng stability ng investment? Yung mga small things like this
Prof,
will
please.
help a lot in terms of
Come back to government.
economic growth and finding solutions, diba?
Evil men triumph when good people do nothing.
Pwede rin namang maging makulit.
No, but you're doing quite a lot still.
And this is proof that we don't have to be politicians to do something. Pag mahal mo yung bayan mo, hindi ka nag-give up, pwedeng mapagod, pwedeng magpahinga, hindi pwedeng sumuko. Diba?
Puro prayer na lang yata. Ako, at least prayer na pray tayo.
Abangan ko yung TikTok mo.
Politica all the way. Politica all the way. Politica all the way.
Let's go to the name drop segment of our program.
Akala ko nakakaligtas na ako sa name dropping segment na yan
Yung producer ko na andyan. Okay. Very quick lang naman tayo. Prof? Okay, let's go. This is our name drop segment. We start off with Secretary Vince Dizon.
Has to be accountable.
Accountable.
Oo. Especially now that he has a very big challenge, no? So, he has to be very accountable in terms of managing the DPWH project. Kailangan niyang may mapatunayan.
Kailangan siya Kailangan magpakitang gilas pa siya lalo.
Oo, kasi pag ginugal mo siya, medyo wala. Sige. Google nyo na lang si Sec. Vince.
Si Ronald Llamas.
Nako, si Sen Edu. Hindi mo alam kung bombero ba yan o taga-sunog eh.
How ironic, ha?
Bombero, taga-sunog.
Magano sila ba? Okay. Attorney Guanzon, Rowena Weng Guanzon.
Bardagol.
Bardagol.
Diba? Walang pinipili, barda lang ng barda eh.
With a goal.
With a goal.
Bardagol,
Hindi ko alam yung goal, basta barda ng barda.
Okay. Sen Bato de la Rosa.
Nahanap na ba siya? Finding Bato nga.
Finding Bato, ha?
Now showing.
Now showing. Senator Tito Soto.
Yeah. Tito Soto, I think, evolved.
Ah.
Di ba, from the beginning na artista siya, naging senador, to now, more or less, nakita natin yung evolution niya as a senator, as a senior politician, na more or less sharper na ang mga linya about policy. I hope all politicians evolve. Especially yung, yung mga artista. Pero kasi, halimbawa si Lito Lapid, at least medyo nagsasalita-salita na siya ngayon. Sigalo pa eh, no?
I'm one with you on that. No, I've seen his
political maturing.
Maturing siya. Tsaka practical politician din siya. That's what I like about Senator Tito Soto. All right. Senator Cheese Escudero.
Nako
pa lang says a lot.
I'm waiting for his name. I'm waiting for cases to be filed against him sa ombudsman.
Okay.
But not cases, siguro disbarment, diba? May draft na rin ako.
May draft ka na rin. Speaking of disbarment and all, Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Hinihintay ko yung case na ipa-file niya against
Romualdez.
Kasi siya yung nag-present kay Guteza eh. Sabi ng mga DDS, ba't di mo ginagamit yung kay Guteza? Sabi ko, ba't hindi niyo tanungin si Senator Marcoleta? Siya nag-present dyan, diba? Senator Marcoleta, I'm still waiting for the case that you will file, diba? Against former Speaker Romualdez.
Last three na to, ha?
Kailangan mo ng bodyguard paglabas dito.
Hindi. Gwapo naman yung bodyguard mo. Okay, nandiyan, meron kang Sige, ito, si Sasot. Yan, si Sas.
Sabi ko nga, pwede namang mag-file ng mga kaso sa ombudsman. Pero kailangan may katawang tao, nasa Pilipinas. Pwede ka ring ma-appoint sa gobyerno, pero kailangan mo yata ng NBI clearance. Ma-appoint. Siya ata kasi siyang bitter eh. Kasi I know she supported President Marcos in the last elections.
Right.
Pero hindi kasi siya na-appoint. Sabi ko nga, one of the first requirements to be appointed is to get an NBI clearance. Worked on that, girl. Baka ma-appoint ka pa.
Sandro Marcos.
Well, may pending po tayong joint resolution sa committee nyo, Majority Leader Marcos sa Congress. Ito yung nag-institutionalize ng Open BICAM. Baka naman pwedeng ma-prioritize. So, ang one word na sa kanya, wake up, please, wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Ito, medyo bata-bata rin to. Kiko Barzaga.
Nako, parehas nga kami nang sinabi kahapon sa social media na bakit nanghihingi ng dagdag budget for DPWH, wala pang pinapasang... wala pang nakukulong. So, dapat may makulong muna. Dapat makulong muna.
Okay. Of course, the last two, that should be Sara Duterte.
Oh, this is your chance to face the people and explain and respond to the things that are being accused about you on the misuse of your confidential fund. With the plunder case before the ombudsman, ito na po yung pagkakataon nyo na sagutin, mag-present ng ebidensya or counter-argument and then face the people.
And Digong.
Nako, good luck po sa ICC. Malamig ngayon dyan kasi winter.
Well, there you have it, our name drop. Maraming salamat, Professor Cielo Magno sa Politika All the Way. You know, talagang it's really good and refreshing, and what a very, very good feeling to know that we have the likes of you still very passionate about making this country work, progress, especially for the people. Mabuhay po kayo. And wow, sabi nga sa inyo, ito lang magmumura ako ng isang beses, tax ng ina mo. Ha? Yan ang number one song ko ngayon sa buhay ko. Kaya hindi na ako maghahanap pa ng ibang song from the 90s or from the 80s. Let's do this very quickly.
You have to sing it with me. Taksangin mo, bantayan mo, wag hayang lustayin ng mga politiko. Yung perang yan, pinaghirapan mo, susubo mo na lang, ninakaw pa sa'yo.
Hey! Thank you very much, Professor Cielo Magno, on Politika All the Way. Thank you.
That was fun.
Politika All the Way.
Maraming salamat muli, Professor Cielo Magno, dito po sa ating Politika All the Way. Now, sabi po ni Professor Cielo, Mabuti na raw po ngayon ang ating budget process ay transparent para po nakikita natin lahat ng information, data, and the personalities and politicos involved in the decision making sa ating pera ng bayan. No? Number 2, sa mga trolls niya, dapat daw kayo ay mag-file din. Kung sino man ang may problema sa inyo, mag-file din kayo. Yung filean nyo. No? Huwag yung puro trolling and trolling. Right? Number 3, meron po siyang final na bill sa kanyang website. You can download it and it's ongoing in activity na po ito. Warm bill na po ito o warm ordinance. No? Sa ibang lugar, ito po ay consultation muna bago mag-project with the parties involved including the congressmen, the LGUs, and the business sector. Napakaganda po niyan. Check it out. Kasi tungkol po yan sa mga pera ng ating bayan. Kaya nga sabi niya, tax ng ina mo, bantayan mo. At dyan po nagtatapos ang politika all the way. Lagi po natin tatandaan, diskusyon po, hindi po away. Opinion, hindi po personalan. This is Jojo A. Peace and love.
Politica all the way.